you on the bonus section?
Oh, yeah, that's what I had questions for you.
Oh, yeah. All right, so real quick, the bonus, there's only one shot on the bonus anyway, so if you want to do it for your own self and check it with me, that's great. I'm not going to give any points for it. You get one shot. Number 2 is actually the easiest bonus problem, I think. Well, they were all basically the same thing, but number 2 was one step.
Absolute values.
I think everybody basically had this. I don't think I really changed the bonus up.
Yeah,
So
that's
what's the
same.
first thing you should do here? These are absolute value signs here.
Change the 3 to.
Yeah, get the absolute value by itself. Now, what is this saying? The absolute value of something is less than
Something else.
a negative number.
So it's 3 plus
No
1?
solution, you're done.
No solution.
That was the easiest bonus problem. It was one step, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be
But that's why it's
3
bonus.
plus
I
1?
love the bonus. People always assume bonus, oh, they must be long, hard problem. No, they're quick if you know what to look for, if you know the concept, and that's why they're bonus, because it's all if you know what to look for or not.
You have a negative, it'd be a positive then, wouldn't it?
No.
Minus 1.
What's it say? What do I put inside here so that it's less than a negative number? Well, the absolute value of anything is at least 0 or positive, right? So there is nothing I could put in there. So what's the solution?
No solution.
No solution. So there, you could work it out. You'll get 2 answers that are wrong. And actually, if you work it out, we didn't even talk about how to work out inequalities. And with absolute value inequalities, oh yeah, we did. Actually, I did.
I got x equals 0.
But it's a lot more difficult. No, it didn't work either. Anyway. Anything else? Let's
Yeah.
Number 8.
all right.
Number 8. The dot and shade deal.
Oh yeah, number 8 was just graph that line, right? So I saw a few people getting the intercepts, which is beautiful. I saw more people solving for y, which is beautiful because you get the slope and the y-intercept, right? You just got to graph that line. What kind of line would number 8 be?
Dotted.
Dotted.
Dotted line.
Graph it. Make sure you make the right kind of line, dotted or solid. In this case, dotted. And then shade. How do you tell which way to shade?
Pick a point.
Good point.
And see if it works.
0,
If
0.
it works, shade in that direction. If it doesn't, shade the other way. So most people that got that wrong treated it like it was just graphing a line. You just graph the line, you stop. It's supposed to be dotted, and there's no shading. And you actually lost most of the points because that's the whole point of that problem is there's an infinite region that's answers. All these points work, not just all the points on the line. All these points on the side of the line.
So the shading was supposed to go which way?
It depends on which version you have. This one is down. It all depends.
5x less than 10.
So who else just came in? Anybody else come in? Please do their test back there.
So this looks like it's less than. Can go underneath this one? No. No.
Now, if you happen to get a grade on the test, you know, below 50, or, you know, below 60 really, but below 50, you must come see me. I desperately want to talk to you. Because if there's really basic stuff that's being missed, there might be time to shift down to the next lower level. It all depends. I don't know. I want to see what your background was and all that kind of stuff. So there's a few people missing some very, very basic stuff, and you're not going to survive this class. You don't want to waste time. In college, time is money, right? You don't want to waste time. Right. So if you made in the 40s or 30s, come see me. I want to make sure that it was maybe just a fluke, you had a really bad day, or you just totally not understand it. It's not, if you can't get this chapter to this test, this first test down, the rest of this class is not going to make any sense. Right? This is what it's all built on. Okay. Not the greatest pep talk in the world, but it's got to be real. All right, guys.
4.1?
No. The last 2 out of chapter 3, yeah. So I'm not overly worried that I'm definitely behind. I mean, I had a day that I was sick, and we're just going a little slower, but it's the way it goes. So I'll give you an updated timeline homework sheet as soon as I can sit down and make it. Because I got a few sections on the homework sheet that is optional for me. So I can throw those out so we can catch up. Nothing too soon, but later on.
So very rarely have I ever had a teacher that actually made their semester fun the first day and actually had it work out.
I know, yeah, doesn't happen to me ever.
So 3.5?
All right, let me ask you guys,
3.5.
if you don't have a clue, it's not a problem, because they're obviously going to learn it right now, but what do you already know about functions? Can somebody tell me anything they know about functions? Say that word, function.
X coincides with Y, kind of like they work
Something like
together.
that, we'll work on that. There's something about that that's important. Anybody know, let me ask this, anybody know, ever heard of the movie or the shows Highlander?
Yes, you have to be born a Highlander.
Fewer and fewer people, of course, all my references. Makes me feel older and older every year, but that's the way life
There
works.
can only be one?
Yeah,
We have to be born.
there could be only one, yes, exactly.
You have to be born it too, don't you? I think that's how it works.
So a function is the relationship between variables, right? X and Y. So a function is some kind of relationship. It's called a relation. It's a relation between, we'll just call it X and Y right now, but we know later it could be, you know, any two variables, S and T or whatever we want to call them. Where for every element in the domain, and a real quick side note here, what is the domain? What does that normally refer to?
X.
The X's.
So the domain is all the stuff I'm allowed to input, which we normally consider X, right? So in the domain, X's, for every element in the domain, there is only one element in the range. There could be only one. And that's where the Highlander comes in. All right, now that's the long, drawn-out, exceedingly boring definition.
Y is the output?
Y is the output, yeah. So the range are the outputs.
There or plus after the X's.
There.
There?
There,
There,
yeah.
Oh, there, yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, is that a rough time? Watch out.
Are we gonna watch the Highlanders as a bonus?
Yeah, I like that. A real quick little way to say this is for every X, there can only be one Y. For every input, there can only be one output. So a real quick saying. For every X, there can be only one Y. For every X, there can be only one. Now, why the hell doesn't matter worth a damn thing? Well, if I throw a ball up in the air, say I throw a ball over, and you're going to catch it, Anthony. So I throw a ball up in the air. What kind of shape does that do when I throw a ball up in the air?
It's an arc, right?
It's an arc, like a parabola, right? So if I ask somebody, all right, a second after I threw it, 1 second after I throw that ball, where is it? So that is on which axis?
X.
X. And of course, where the ball is going to be the Y, right? So if I say 1 second later, where's that ball, and somebody tells me, well, it's 8 feet up in the air and it's 2 feet down from the ground, you know, so they're trying to tell me it's here and it's here. Does that make physical sense?
It can't be in two places.
I
at
throw that
once.
ball. Where's the ball? It's there and there. What?
No.
What? Who are what? Who are you? What the hell?
It can't be in two places at
You guys
once.
see what? So
Exactly, it has to be in one.
one big thing, and this is not exactly the definition, but this is a real big reason why we want to call a certain set of things a function, because I know they can model something in the real world. Right? So if I shoot a missile off, and the general says, where's that missile at, son? And I say, well, it's 500 feet above, and it's also below the water. It's like, did it blow up? Did it go into pieces? What the hell you don't, you know? I'm probably going to lose my children. It's not a good thing. I want one output for every input, right? Now notice this. Isn't it here, isn't it? Now, of course, when I throw a ball, I wish I brought the ball out actually. If I throw a ball, isn't it at some point, like, isn't it here at one point? and then it goes up, and isn't it there again later?
Right.
Of course. So if I throw a ball over to Anthony, isn't it like here at one point, and then right before he catches, it's going to be at the same height? So it can have two places where the y is the same. That's not a problem, right? So you see, that doesn't work the other way. For every y, is there only one x? No.
No.
It's only for every x, there can only be one y. Now you can see visually what does that lead to. Some of you guys see where I'm going with this. To tell if I give you a graph, how can you tell it's a function? It's got to pass what kind of test?
Vertical
One line
line.
goes
Vertical
to
line theory.
Because when I draw a vertical line, do you see how that corresponds to that x value? So if it goes through only at most once, that is exactly what that definition says. So how can I draw a graph? So these are both functions. This is a function. Can I draw a vertical line so that it goes through more than once?
Yes, you
Can I?
I don't know.
No.
No. Every single vertical line I can imagine will only go through once.
It'll be a domain.
So this is also a function. How can I draw something that's not?
A circle?
Oh, beautiful. So a circle is obviously not a function. Why? Here's the reason why. If there's a vertical line, goes through more than once, right? You guys with me? Sweet.
Could it be like a sideways parabola?
It could be anything that kind of goes back on itself. So it could be, yay, everything's great, oh crap. Right?
Yeah.
So right here, here's Jeff. I'm walking, and now I'm in 3 different places at once. I wish that would make a lot of my life easier, but no. Right?
This is function.
No.
No.
So these are not
No,
functions.
not function. no.
Because what do they not pass?
And the
Vertical line test. I love it. So this is in words, the definition. This is graphically what the definition looks like, a vertical line, right? Because vertical line represents that x value. So right there, for that x, whatever that x is, it has more than one y, doesn't it? Beautiful. All right, so that should sound familiar, but hopefully that makes sense. So that's why we come up with the name function, so that if I say to a friend, to a colleague, I'm working with this function, they automatically know that there's only one output for every input. I don't have to tell them, I got this thing, it's only one output for every input, and I could use it to model it. No, it's a function. It tells me all this shit. Right? One word, I know all this stuff. Great. Because math people, we don't like to waste time. That's why we make all these symbols. All right. So what does it look like? Let's focus on the domain and the range real quick. So what do you think? Has anybody ever seen something like this here?
Like X and Y plot.
Yeah, it's like X, Y table, exactly. And that's the domain element, so what does it mean if I do something like this?
It's a
They're
function.
functions.
It's a
When I
function.
plug a 1 in, what do I get out?
One.
One.
No, when I plug a 1 in, I
Oh,
get
three.
3.
Three.
One thing
One
is what you're
thing,
thinking,
yeah.
but I get a 3. When I plug a 2 in, I get
Five.
5. When I plug a 3 in, I get...
Four.
Now why is that a function? Because
And it goes to one.
One for one.
for every x, there's only one y. Right, so this is a function, cool? Okay, what about this one?
It's not a function.
Careful.
Oh, wait a minute. It's a
It
function
is.
because they go to one at one time.
One to one.
Is there any x that goes to more than one y?
Yeah.
Which x goes to more than one y?
There's only one Y.
1 only goes to 4.
4 and 2 to
2 only goes to 4.
And three.
3 only goes to 4. Is there any x's, any elements in the domain that go to more than one element in the range? Right, like Anthony just said, there's only one freaking element in the range. How could it possibly go to more than one? That's where people mess up. What's the quick tell here? How could I make something that's not a function? This is a function. Can I spell? No. What would not be a function? How can I make it not a function?
If we had another, if we had a 5 in there, we have 1, 2, 3, and you have 4 and 5.
Okay.
Okay, and then 1 goes to 1 and 1 goes to 5.
I love it.
And then 1.
So right there.
Mhm.
Why is that not a function exactly? Because there's an x that goes to more than one y. So it's like me saying, okay, Johnson,
Yep.
what size is your left foot? It's a 4 and a 5.
Could you
What?
graph it, please?
That makes physical sense. Well, on Tuesdays it's a 5, and then it kind of shrinks. You see what I'm saying? So for an input, person number 1, what size is your left foot? If they say 4 and 5,
Jesus.
no, screw